me give you an example, okay? In the book of Acts, chapter 27, it talks about an incident where Paul was he was caught up in a shipwreck. Shipwreck is where he is on a ship and he's sailing on a ship. He is moving from a place called Caesarea to Rome. And on board are around 276 people, including Paul. So these, almost 300 are on a ship that is traveling from place A to place B, from Caesarea to Rome. And Paul, this is not a tourism trip that he's having. He's a prisoner. Okay? Along with other prisoners, he's now in handcuffs. And around 200 plus them, they are moving from Caesarea to Rome. Okay, in Rome, Paul is going to be tried before the Roman authority. So the wind blew and they began sailing. And as Paul mentioned it to them, there came a point when they started, there was a nice gentle breeze and they were very happy. The ship began to sail. But soon, that breeze turns into a tempest. It becomes a storm and now it's beating the ship all over. The ship is almost like a piece of cork in water in the ocean, and it's being bruised and beaten, and it's shaky, and they all are now struggling because the Bible even says that these guys, they were not able to see the sun nor the stars for 14 days. Can you imagine? I've been on a ship, okay, a naval ship, a ship that was moving. And when the ship is moving, you because you're not used to that motion, many of the people get seasickness. It's a very dirty feeling where you all the time feel like puking. So can you imagine, these are very good sailors, but it's been 14 days where there is no sun. If there is no sun, then I'm assuming there's pitch darkness and there's no stars. That means the line between day and night has blurred. Everything is so dark. And if this was not enough, the wind and the wave, they are just tossing the sea in every direction. If you talk to a shippy, you'll understand, so many times when the ship is in rough waters, all their belongings in their cabin, it falls down. Every time they have to put it up, because that's the way, it is. And 14 days, and they have completely lost hope. And this is when Paul says, hey guys, you should have listened to me. You should have listened to that superior advantage. We could have avoided all this. But he's saying there's no need to dwell on that now. Because he's saying from now on, things are looking up. I can assure you that there'll not be a single drowning among us. Although I can't say as much for the ship itself is doomed. So Paul is saying, hey guys, cheer up. Cheer up. This is what a superior kingdom does. It brings in hope in a completely hopeless situation where people, they have not seen day, they can't figure out what is night, they have not seen land, non-stop, being tossed up and down. These people, they didn't even eat. One is because you eat something, you will end up puking because the way the ship was being tossed by the waves. Second is they have not eaten because they have completely lost hope. And Paul at this moment comes to them and tells them, for there's nothing, nothing is going to happen to any one of you. I know you should have listened to me when we started. And at that time, isn't it interesting? The prophecy was different. The foreknowledge was different. He was saying that it's going to be a complete disaster. The ship is going to break, the cargo is going to be lost, and every single one of us is going to lose our lives. But because of a kingdom that Paul was a part of, this kingdom allows you to change the outcome. Whatever you are going through right now, I don't know what kind of storm you may be in right now, what kind of case you may be in right now, because you are a part of this superior kingdom, the outcome will be changed. And it's going to be in your favor in Jesus' mighty name. Can you believe what God was going to do because of a son that was standing on the entire ship? There was one person who was connected to the superior kingdom. And because of him, he's telling them, listen, I saw an angel who stood by me. Wow, this is your inheritance. You have divine help 24/7. No matter what situation you are in, you have divine help. And this angel stood by him, stood next to him. And he's saying, for there stood by me this night an angel of God to whom I belong and whom I serve. In other words, Paul is saying, listen, there's a kingdom to whom I belong. There's a kingdom which I belong to. From that kingdom, help came and stood next to me. And he told me that nothing is going to happen. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. I cancel the spirit of fear over your life. I come against every anxious thoughts. Know that you are not alone. You are backed by a kingdom that wants you to function in foreknowledge in every day of your life. And just in case you are already functioning in that foreknowledge, you are sensing, but if the people around you are not listening, still there is help because of you who belongs to that kingdom where God is saying that I will never leave nor forsake you. Because of one Paul in that ship, the entire 276, including Paul, okay, all of them, all of their lives were spared. Because of you, your friends' lives will be spared. Your friends who are going in the wrong direction, who are messing up in life, you don't have to follow them. You don't have to keep, persuading them. All you need to do is to believe in the power of the superior kingdom that you are a part of. And because of you, your friends will come to light. They will be saved. Because of one Noah, so many animals and Noah's entire family got saved. So he's telling, take heart. For I believe, he's saying, take heart, because all of them had lost heart. Take heart, cheer up, be encouraged. Think about good things, because I believe God that it will be just as it was told me. In another version it says, I believe God will do exactly what he told me. This should be your biggest confidence, that no matter what storm I may be in, I believe God will do exactly what what he told me. Exactly. There was something else that God told in the beginning. But because of Paul, there's something else that God is saying. And he's saying God will do exactly what he told me. So there's this kingdom that backs you. And there is this kingdom that protects you, that shields you. And this kingdom is held by the word of God. This kingdom is held together by what God has spoken to you. Because there has to be a point where you, as a son of God, as a son of this kingdom that you come from, that you belong to, stand up and say, doesn't matter what the situation around me is speaking, I know there is a God who has spoken over my life, and he will do exactly, I believe he will do exactly what he told me. So you see, as a child of God, you have power. Your words have power. And Paul told them to have some food because these guys had not eaten. And can you imagine, in front of all of them, he sits and he tells them, not a hair from your head will fall. Forget you losing your life. Not a single strand of hair will fall from your head. Look at the confidence of this man who believes that he's backed by a superior kingdom. And when he told this to these guys, he sits in front of them, he takes bread and he gives thanks. He is thanking God and he begins to eat. In that situation where people must be crying and begging to God, they must be weeping, they must be rolling in pity party, they must be writing their last wish or some diary. Okay, this is this date, I don't know where I'll land. If you find this diary, what all these people must be thinking about. At that moment, it says that Paul, in that situation, he's munching, he's eating his food, and he's giving thanks to God. And when he did that, everybody got encouraged and they also began to eat. And when you read further in that story, none of them lose their lives, just as God told Paul. Exactly. I believe exactly. Okay.